I almost want to punch that bonehead right in the nose.
I like that picture, chap. Where'd you get that?
Oh, I got millions of these things. I collect them over the years.
Yeah. Well, this is good because that's perfect for a spillover. There's a perfect spill baby right there.
I got one that I put a pile of dinars up behind them, and everything with a little capture. When are they ever going to get here? Yeah.
Those are dinar babies.
Yeah. Hey, I'll be right back. I'm going to get a drink of water. Just keep things alive. I'll be right back.
Just put a little whiskey in it.
Yeah. Welcome, everybody.
Brandy in your tea.
Well, it's good to see everybody. We got Barb and Chris A, Coach Glynis. Hi,
There's
Glynis.
people in here we know? Really?
Yeah, that's awesome. David Brandt, GJP. I think Vin has joined us. Hello, Vin. Janet Seeger, JB, Jerry Long. Hello, Jerry.
Hello, Kathy.
Kai's on here. Awesome.
Cool.
Oh, now I'm really nervous.
Better have another shot.
There's T. Hi, T.
T. Gerard in the house.
Yeah, I see you left some breadcrumbs for us, man. Appreciate it.
Oh, man. That was some notice, wasn't it?
Oh, man, I tell you.
That's okay. I'm happy here.
Yeah, we have to learn to be content where we find ourselves. That's a good thing.
Well, one of the things that I like to bring up about all of this, when we have failures, and even though they're not caused by ourselves, we got to look at the failures as something that you learn from. I mean, what mistakes did we make? What mistakes that they made? And of course, we can't control what other people are doing. But this is what's really unique about CrowdRising, because, we can't control how the website works and all that. And I thank God every day for people like Kai and Gilhard and Pete and the many others that are behind the scenes that I don't even know, that have the integrity and the due diligence to do what needs to be done to make it right. Are they perfect? Of course not. But are they willing to do what needs to be done? They've proven themselves on a daily basis. So with what happened with WeShare, it's just, one door closes, another one opens, and generally, most of the time, depending on the people's attitude, they can make it a better opportunity, or they can just ignore it and create their own devastation. And so, it just works out the way it works out, and we got to deal with it, and let's deal with it in a more positive mode.
Well, yeah, we operate from abundance.
That's right. Okay, well, let's get started. It's 4:02. I'm going to hit the record button. And do I need to do anything after that to start recording?
No.
Okay. I can hit Control R, alternate R, or the control button.
You should have a record button down there, or record. You're a host, right?
I beg your pardon?
I'm recording.
Oh, good. Okay. I think I hit record anyhow. Let me just see. Okay.
It's being recorded, Chap. No worries.
Okay, good. All right. My name is Chris Chapman. I'm also known as Chappy.
Your volume went away, buddy.
It did?
Yep. It was much louder before.
Well, I don't know. I didn't.
Swallow the microphone, Chap. Come on.
I didn't do anything. All right.
Well, your volume went away.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, still not as loud as it was. I don't know why. Go ahead. Just go ahead. We can hear you.
Okay. Well, again, my name is Chris Chapman, also known as Chappy, and
now it's perfect.
Okay. Well, I guess it has something to do with the bandwidth. So anyhow, what I wanted to bring out is I'm going to give a really quick, introductory of who I am. I'm nobody special per se. I'm a retired swimming pool builder. I have not the largest, but a very large swimming pool company in Brevard County, Florida. We did about $3 million worth of business, and prior to that, though, we were just doing about 25 to 50 pools a year, and I got introduced into some network marketing companies such as Amway and so forth. And I started learning from people like Earl Nightingale, Zig Ziglar, Tommy Hopkins, and many others who had a view on how to sell, how to present yourself, what to do, when to do it, and how to do it. And I took that seriously. And I was a great student of these people. I went to their webinars because I wanted to touch, feel, I wanted to meet the people that I'm following, to feel their integrity and where they came from. And it was a great pleasure to meet people like Zig Ziglar. I mean, it was he was a real individual, and I'm really grateful for the times that I listen and my family listened. He's a great teacher, but a teacher isn't there until the student is ready. And so I went on and I got a book that the people who are on my email list on the CrowdRising, they get 15 chapters on skill with people written by Les Gibbons. And Les Gibbons wrote this book, and it's a condensed book of everything you need to know and get started on how to deal with people. And it's an important book that I am willing to share with people and train people the best that I can. Because like I said, I'm not an expert, I'm not a guru, but I am a professional salesperson. I've sold, as much as $1 million to $2.5 million a year in swimming pools. So I know how to help get what people want. And I learned this before I was going in telling people, oh, we build a great pool. This is what I do. And this, and draw out the pool and hand it to them and say, hey, you like to go with it? Huh? You like to go with it? And more than not, I couldn't sell the pool. I mean, the people will say, well, we'll think about it. We'll get back to you later. Thanks a lot. Here's the door. Then I started picking up these ideas, and more so with this book right here, Skills with People. It goes over how to skillfully talk to people, how to skillfully make people feel important, how to skillfully agree with people, how to skillfully listen to people, how to skillfully influence, convince, make up people's minds, set people's moods, praise people, critique people, thank people, make a good impression, and make a talk. And all of those, if you don't think it's important, ignore it and keep doing what you're doing, and you'll keep getting what you always got. Read this, practice this, and put it into your daily curriculum, and you can start to physically measure. You can start to physically measure the how things are changing, how people are going to respond to you, how people start coming to you, asking you for help, asking you questions about what you think. Because that you'll find the most important event in people's lives is themselves. How everybody wants friends, everybody wants relationship. I don't know anybody that doesn't want to talk to anybody. I mean, you know, because I don't know any hermits. You know, they're all up there in the mountains. But everybody in the cities in your locality wants relationships. Now, some are toxic. And some you just got to stay away from, because it's okay to stay away from people. You know, I'm not saying you have to make friends with everybody, but like-minded, uh, people like each other that mirror themselves, or at least close to it. And with this, I'm gonna, you know, I want to go over my back office and show you what I'm seeing here. And I redacted, you know, the information because I don't want to. You know, I never got permission to show people, you know, the usernames or anything like this, and I don't think I would want to anyhow. But here in my back office, you see that I have 415 people as of this morning. Now it's increased a little bit. I believe I got like 3 or 4 people somewhere in my downline. And although you get these emails, you say, wow, that's great, man. But let's look at here. Here's a guy that is at stage 3. He got in on April 15th, all right? And he referred 3 people, or excuse me, 5 people. I must have crossed over a couple stars. He referred 5 people, and maybe more. But you know, of course, it only shows what you refer on your first 5 levels. First, you're 5 on your first level, and then here there's another guy, stage 2, got in April 16th, and he referred 4. Stage 1 on the 19th. 2 on the 2nd of May, he's a stage 1 with no referrals. And with the no referrals, here's another one with no referrals. Stage 2, stage 1, no referrals. Out of the 415, I don't have time to count all the zeros. I don't have time to count all the 2s, 3s, and see a percentage on how it relates to the total number. But I can tell you this. There's a far greater number with people with no referrals in the total group. Hold on, I got a cough for a minute. So, and then here is one, stage 2, 3 referrals. Stage 1, 1 referral. And what's happening, I see a lot of people, you know, especially the ones that have been in around since April, have, you know, excuse me, I'm sorry, I keep coughing. Hold on a minute. Okay. They call me up and they say, hey, you know, Chappy, I haven't gotten any spillover yet. What's going to happen? And I said, well, have you created any spillover? Well, no, I haven't. Well, let me tell you, if you haven't created any spillover, your upline hasn't created any spillover. What are the people under you thinking? Even though you didn't get them in, what are they thinking? When are they going to get the spillover from you? To me, and I don't mean to infringe on anybody, or I'm not intentionally pointing fingers at anybody, and you know, and I don't really want to, what do they call it, you know, the critical correctness crap, you know, offend anybody. But let's just be real, okay? Let's just be real. You got in because you wanted to help other people help themselves, to teach them to help other people. For what reason? For you to help yourself. If you didn't get in for that reason, if you don't want to help yourself and your family or help others, and you just want to sit there and do nothing and get everything, you're in the wrong group here. Okay, and I don't mean to say it like that. Some people may disagree. Well, he's a little bit abrupt. We got to help each other. We got to work with each other. We got to team up and be a part of the team. Can you imagine a baseball player on first base and it just, well, he just doesn't feel like, you know, bending down and grab the ball. Umpire, can you put the ball in my hand for me so I can get the guy out? I mean, you just can't be like this, you know? We got to work together and refer people. Start helping those who refer. The people above you will feel that energy and it'll get them kicking. And then everybody is creating spillover. And let me tell you what a joy that is for that to happen. Okay, not only the joy, but you'll start moving up from stage 3 to stage 4, stage 4 to stage 5, to stage 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Some went up the ladder real quick. Now, how did they do that? Well, some that I know that had the money to go out, they'll go ahead and pay it all forward. And I missed out on that, some of that, because I couldn't elevate myself to the stage that they were paying, so I missed out. They didn't knock on my door and say, hey, Chappy, we're about to pay a certain stage, and we see that you would normally be the recipient, but you ain't there yet. So we went so would you like to go ahead and pay that, and then we can pay you back by getting into that stage? No, they didn't give me that opportunity. Is that a team player? Well, maybe he didn't realize it, maybe he didn't see it, but if he knew about it, but he elected to go ahead and just void me and go ahead and pay the next stage, I would have to say that's not really a team player here, okay? He's doing it for himself. We got to do it. We got to help others first. Everybody. I help my downline, I help my upline. I don't care. I'll help anybody. And that's the kind of attitude, if we all had it, we could all work together, and man, this thing would fly. This thing would sail. Now, as you go on, you see stage 2 here. You stage 1, 0 referrals, been in since the 28th. And, you know, I could keep going on here for, I mean, I first had 42 pages of this. And I said, well, that's it. But here is what I want people to start grasping, if you will. This is, I think it's important for you to excel, okay? You got how we retain information is 10% of what we read, 20% of what we hear, 30% of what we see, 50% of what we see and hear, 70% of what we say as we talk, 90% of what we say as we do a thing. So when you start learning all of this skill with people, you read it and you start practicing it. I used to practice in the mirror. I used to go up there and do a full presentation on how to sell a pool when I was talking to somebody. Now I'm doing it when I'm talking and referring people. And we'll go that on the next call or on the next webinar. Right now, I just want to get the basics of how, why, what, and where, okay? So the method of instructions is, you know, if you were just listening to this and like 3 hours later, you probably would be, you know, you probably would remember 70%. Three days later, you wouldn't have an idea of what I said. Following, showing when using alone, here's the numbers here, 72% 3 hours, 20% 3 days. But when you blend telling and showing, it's 85% and 65%. Our objective here is, this program objective is to increase your skills with people, could be experienced in other ways, to make you people smart, to give you people know-how, to make you more effective with people. And if you learn just, some of the stuff, you will be more effective. I guarantee you, when you talk to 10 people, you'll get to the point where you'll get 3 to 6 of them in every time, because you're not telling them to get in. You're not just, you're not having them listen to you about me. You're talking to them as you're interested what they got to say, what they're feeling, what their needs are, no matter what names you put on it. This is a big league subject. In fact, it would be very hard to find more worthy objective. Many authorities will tell you that the greatest help you can get in life is the greatest kindness you can ever receive in this area. It is estimated that in 200 has true skills with people who are really smart people. That 1 in 200, excuse me, something didn't sound right there. Okay, you are going to be that 1 in 200. All it takes is this course, your open mind, your desire. You got to have desire, folks. You got to have it. And to get more things coming your way. The skills has many names. Skill with people, leadership, salesmanship, management ability, personality, and charm, just to mention a few, but they're all the same. Psychologists prove that most important factor in your success and well-being is not your intelligence. In fact, what does Albert Einstein say? 2 things are infinite, the universe and human stupidity. And I'm not sure about the universe. Then you got your education. There is more educated derelicts out there than anything, okay? And it's not your physical assets, like, how strong you are, what kind of body you have, and all this. It's all about skills with people. But it's how effective you are with people. Let's see, I'm getting this thing here. Let me get that out of there. Okay. Increasing skills with people bring huge rewards, such as better career, better social life, and better family life. The rewards that come from skill with people are many, and they vary. You make more income, you get more recognition, prestige, security, more satisfaction, superiority, more friends, better friends, and you get much better friends. More acceptance, more approval, more confidence, less fear, and less worry. In addition to the above, more success and a greater well-being. People smart. People are uncommon. People smart people are uncommon because the reasons set forth below. On the people smart scale, 1 to 100, it's estimated that the average person will score 10 to 15 on the exceptional 25 to 30. It can be easily verified by looking over the knowledge and techniques of this program and seeing how little of it you are now using. Why the low score? Now, I've taken this, by the way, I want to just say here, right out of the book, okay? I retyped it, got it in there for to go over this. And the whole course is going to be right out of the book. I may add a few this and that in there, but basically it's out of this book. Why the low score? Formal education does not include any skills with people. To the people smart, you have skills with people has one the subordinate his own human nature. This is never-ending struggle. There must be a frequent reinforcement and reminding which few people get. most individuals who have had some training in more effective dealing with people invariably self-defeat when it comes to reinforcing and increasing that knowledge. Almost automatically, these individuals, and I got to admit, I'm guilty of this too. When they see the program like this, they'll react, oh, I know all of that, or I've been through that, instead of asking themselves hard questions. Am I really using this knowledge and techniques? Probably not. Or even more important question, can I get more mileage from the knowledge and the techniques? And absolutely you can. It is not what you know, it is how much you use. How much you use, you make you what you know that brings the benefits. Therefore, to the three purpose and goals of this program, to teach you skills with people you may not know, to reinforce and remind you, if you do know them, in either event, to increase your use of this knowledge so that your benefits are increased. Actually, increasing skills with people is fun. It's fun to do, fun to see, and fun to reap rewards. I would challenge you people to, to get with somebody, some of your friends who are in CrowdRising with you, and role play. Get that feeling of how to do this. Once you break your bad habits and make good habits, it's fun. And you can have a lot of fun with this. As one sociologist put it, it makes trading $1 for 100. However, I'm adding to this course that it will help you trade 20 for 100, 40 for 1,000, 60 for 7,500, and more. Gee, where did you hear that before, right? This is what you're not going to learn or experience from this course. There's no magic and there's no secrets. I'm not trying to sell you anything, with one exception, and that is, I am trying to get you to buy the fact that you have a seed of greatness in you, and I am wanting you to reach that seed for you to realize and nourish it. Does that make sense? Practice makes perfect. Successful people are willing to do what successful people are not willing to do. And that is so much true. I mean, there is so much truth in that one sentence, because people want to be, I remember when I was a kid, I was on a race, I ran for a little while, and yeah, I won a couple trophies, third place, fourth place, because I know I could have gotten first place if I went out to the track more. I could have been better at baseball if I practiced more. I could have been better at anything that I wanted to do if I wanted to practice more. But a lot of times we don't want to practice. We just want it given to us. And life didn't give us that, okay? Life gave you maybe some hits where you could do better at what you want to do, but life doesn't owe you anything. You owe your life to yourself and to your family. The immortal, what is the one thing that successful people do what unsuccessful people are not willing to do? Let us hear from the experts. The immortal football coach, Vince Lombardi, when asked for the secret of his phenomenal success, he replied, I learned early that excellence comes mostly with the mastery of fundamental doing the basics well. In football, the basics are blocking and tackling. My team worked on blocking and tackling over and over, again and again, constantly. In football games, the teams that does the basics usually wins. And we usually won. Arthur Rubinstein, the world famous pianist, when asked how he became an excellent pianist, he responded, practice the scales each hour, each day, like I do. I would interject here that Muhammad Ali, Mike Tyson, Floyd Patterson, Larry Holmes are, after winning their titles, they never gave up their basic workout and training. You know, they went to the gym constantly and sparred and, you know, and learned and keep their techniques up and running. When I had my pool company, we used to have sales meetings, and we used to role play in the office like a customer and salesman, and bring up objections and how they were going to overcome it and so forth. I had a great sales team. I mean, I was blessed because the people wanted to make money, and these guys were making, you know, $100,000 to $200,000 a year, and they were making more than me. But guess what? I loved it, you know. And because they were good at what they did, and it improved the company. The science of learning is full utilized. Tell me, and I will forget. Teach me, and I may remember. Involve me, I will learn. And that was Benjamin Franklin. Equipped with his 5 cents, man explores the universe around him and calls the adventure science. 83% through sight, 11% through hearing, 3.5% through smell, 1.5% through touch, and 1% through taste. We learn utilizing pictures, drawings, printed words are combined to give you the maximum eye impact. I'm going to get off the subject here for a minute. I was watching TV when this ad pops up, and they got a card that they give to the baby. Now, here's a baby, 3 and 4 months old, just laying on his back, can't do anything, and they're showing cards with a picture and making the sound and the word, spelled under the picture, and they keep feeding that to the child. And guess what? That kid can learn to read and associate the picture when it's reading with what that baby has learned, up and be a speed reader at the age of 6 and 7. And yet we wait to the schools to teach our kids, and they get out of high school and go into college, and some of them can't get past the 9th grade level reading. So, the pictures, the drawings, the printed words, all combined together does a great thing. And I got to brag for a minute. My grandbaby is now 4 years old, and she hardly never wore diapers because she learned how to sign language potty. I got to go potty before she could talk. And she was, she knew what to do and basically how to do it, and hardly never wore diapers. And so it can be, if a baby can do it, you think we can? And so we can learn as old as some of us are. You're never too old to pick up a new habit. All right. So in addition to utilizing another basic rule of learning, we learn to do by doing. Each part of this course has a do to be completed before processing, or before the process proceeds, to the next part. This makes certain your progress and benefits, heading the fact that it is use of the knowledge that brings the goodies. Another interesting, important fact, we learn 80% of what we experience personally, and 95% 95% of what we teach to someone else. This is why I am so honored and blessed to do this, because by doing this, not only am I reinforcing and relearning everything, and let me tell you, I got to relearn everything. I went into the archives, got the old books out, and started making notes and say which one would be the best to explain and so forth. And I really, truly enjoy doing this, because by helping you learn this, and I hope you do, it's going to help me get back into the mode again to do what needs to be done so I can help create my spillover to the people below me. And I'm not guaranteeing anything. There's no guarantees in life except for death. And if you know Christ, you got that beat, okay? So with that being said, the first thing we want to do is how to skillfully talk to people. When you are talking to people, pick out the most interesting subject in the world to them to talk about. What is the most interesting subject in the world to them? Themselves. That's right. Themselves. When you talk to them about themselves, they will be deeply interested and utterly fascinated. They will think well of you by doing this. I mean, and that's just a simple thing, you know? I mean, and most people want to say, I, me, this is mine, and this is what I did, and so forth. And the guy never hardly says a word. When I used to sell pools, I used to go in there and say, oh, I worked for my father-in-law for 20 years, and I did this, and I won that, and this is what I did. And then, you know, as I'm drawing the pool, I would turn it around. But let me tell you, when I started learning just this one page here, I started going to my to my customers or prospects. And here I'm selling $20, $30, $40,000 swimming pools in people's backyards. I would say, okay, let's go ahead and take a look at your backyard. And I would hand them the tape, and I would hold the dummy end. And I'd say, okay, now show me where you want the pool laid out in your backyard. And if they didn't know, of course, I would coach them. And we would lay out the pool, and we would put stakes in the ground and everything. I'd say, okay, now let's go inside. And I had a computer drawing software, which I made this from, what you're seeing right here. But I would say, okay, now here is your yard. You know, I draw out the yard and place the, you know, use a survey to get the dimensions.
You got a very nice course here.
And then I didn't mean to interrupt your interruption here. So anyhow, I would. Anyhow, would draw out the yard, and then they would, you know, the wife would get on one side of me, the husband get on the other side, the kids would be behind me. Oh, put the pool over there. Yeah, I want that shape. And oh yeah, put the slide over there and put the diving board over there. They would design their own pool. This is what they wanted. Now, all the other salespeople, including myself, prior to learning this technique, we designed the pool and asked them if they liked it or not. And the best designer won. But who is the best designer of what they want? When they see all their options and they pick out one out of all their options and then picked out the necessary things that go with what they picked, who could argue that this is not the pool for them? This is what they want. And so when you put them first, they will move heaven and earth to get it. And this is why this is so important to get referrals. When you start talking to people, start asking them questions, you know, especially the people you know is so much easier. And practice on the people that you think that are not going to want this. They don't even want to talk about it. And we'll go over that in a little bit. But take the 4 words out of your vocabulary: I, me, my, and mine. Substitute those 4 words with one word, the most powerful word spoken to the human tongue. You. Such as, this is for you. You will benefit if you do this. This will please your family. You get both advantages, etc. Capsule, if you will give up the satisfaction you will get from talking about yourself, then you get from the use of the words I, me, and my, and mine, your personality effectively, efficiency, and your influence and power will be greatly increased. Admittedly, it is hard to do, and it does take practice, and it does, believe me, but the rewards make it worth its while. Okay, another good way of using people's interest in themselves in conversations to get them talking about themselves. You will find that people would rather talk about themselves than about any other subject. If you will maneuver people into talking about themselves, and I don't really like that word maneuver, but you got to point, guide, and direct the conversation. I love that term, point, guide, and direct. That was given to me by a guy named Forbear, who is big in network marketing. He's probably one of the biggest guys I know. And both ways, he's a big guy too. But anyhow, he came up with that phrase, point, guide, and direct. And that's all you got to do here, folks, is they got to tell you. And once they tell you all their things, you can point and you can guide them and direct them right where to go. Okay, and they will like you very much. This is done by asking them questions about themselves, such as, and of course not limited to, how's your family, Bill? How's that boy of yours in the Army coming along? How are you doing at work? That's a good question to ask everybody. Oh, I ain't got a job. How do you like your new car? Oh, I wish I had one. How do you keep such good care of your lawn? All right. Most of us are not effective on others because we keep busy thinking and talking about ourselves. The thing to remember is that it is not how you like your remarks and subjects, it's how your listeners like them. I'm not sure if I understood that phrase right there, but I'll pass it. So when talking to others, talk about them. Get them talking about themselves. That is how you will become the most interesting conversationalist. Okay? So I'm hoping that some of you have taken notes, and I guess I can, yeah, I can, now all of this is in my, for the people that are on my team specifically, that are on, get into my back, on my list, they get this automatically every 3 or 4 days, but I haven't taught it, okay? And you know what's interesting enough? If a lot of people don't even, I have a Weber. I can tell you when you open the email, if you sent it out to other people, because I can see if that email's been opened 5 or 6 or 20 times and so forth. So, and I find it interesting that a lot of people don't even take time to open it because they're busy, they got other things, they got a lot on their mind and so forth. But nobody snatched them up by the collar, made them hard to swallow and say, hey man, you got to get this, you got to read this because this is going to help you, like I'm doing today. And the reason I'm doing it is, let's go back up to where we were. I want you to not be like this guy here, Bonehead. Bonehead is just waiting for spillover. Because he doesn't have enough confidence, or he thinks he doesn't have enough friends, or whatever. And all of this will be covered in the in the future events. But I want to, I want everybody to see, I want you to have referrals say 5 and 5 and 5 instead of 0, 0, 0. I want to see, you helping, getting on the call and say, hey, Jim, you got 3. Let's get 2 more under you, and let's get our own little group together and help, and everybody invite at least 1 or 2 people to this meeting, and let's show them how we can help them get what they want. And you don't even have to say, because we're going to get everything that we want. See? Now, I just want to say one more thing about when you're having a conversation with somebody and you want to ask them questions. John, are you there? Alive?
I am.
Okay. When somebody is talking, it's one of the biggest things that most people do. And I'll demonstrate. But before I demonstrate, John, do you have anything to say about what we just saw?
Damn good review. Main points. If everybody learned that, they'd be 100% more effective.
Good. And one of the biggest things you don't want to do is you don't want to interrupt when somebody is speaking. That is one of the biggest, and I'm on TalkShoe 2 or 3 times a week, and I'm hosting calls and so forth, and inadvertently I get interrupted all the time. And
who would do such a thing?
I know, right? And
yeah.
I know, and so when I'm trying to say something, a guy keeps interrupting. Most of the time, you never
But
get.
You mean like this?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and so forth. Because what happens, it breaks the momentum, and if you're the one that's interrupting when somebody's trying to tell you something, what you're really saying, what you're doing, speaks so loudly that what you're saying they can't hear you, and that is, what I have to say is far more important, John, than what you got to say. And that's a terrible thing to have somebody think.
I don't know. I kind of like it.
I know. But it's so true. When even though that you are, oh man, you're just dying to say something. You're just trying to get in there. Maybe you want to, raise your, well, you can't raise your hand.
Well, that was me in class. I used to have to get up out of my chair.
What do you mean?
Raise my hand because they weren't calling on me.
Oh. Go wait out in the hall, will you? I'll be right there. But
you called me into this thing, you wanted me off to interject in some way. I mean,
yeah, and you did good.
Am I done?
Yeah, you're done.
Okay, I go back to sleep. Bye.
Yeah, yep. So but that is the biggest turnoff ever. Now I have a call where the guy is constantly interrupting me. He wants to throw something in there. He won't let me finish. And sometimes I say, no, wait till I'm finished, because what I want to say, I really want to get the point across, because I know he's going to start another rabbit trail, if you will, to somewhere else. And I do want to get my point across sometime. And it's not that what he has to say is any more important than what I have to say, but it's rude to interrupt somebody. And I jokingly, a lot of times, will say, I'm so sorry to interrupt your interruption, like I did earlier on the call. But sometimes, most of the time, I just stop what I'm saying and I say, go ahead, because I know the guy wants to say something. And when that happens, we can talk for 5 hours, because he's going to be doing most of all the talking. And I listen. Like I listened to this one lady, and I know I'm saying I a lot, but I'm giving examples here. There was one lady, it's so toxic, and she went on for 20 minutes about how, blah, blah, blah. I'm not even going to get into the subject. And then after 20 minutes, she said, "Are you still there?" I said, "Yeah, I'm listening." And she went on for a few more minutes. And I said, "Okay, now let me say what I got to say." And as soon as I started opening my mouth, she started interrupting to me. And I said, "Lady," I said, I gave you the respect of listening to you, and now I would like to respond in kind. If you don't wish for me to have my opinion thrown in here, we can end this conversation now. And after about the third time of being interrupted, I said, "This call's over," and I hung up on her. Because if somebody's not going to respect me enough after I've shown more than enough respect, do we have a relationship here? I don't think so. So it's, one of the most important things is to let people say what they got to say, because it's important to hear them. It's very important to hear them, especially in the business that we're doing. They may be crying for help, not in a way that you expect it, but with the skills with people, you will recognize that cry. And you can articulate how you can turn it around and be it to their advantage to help them. And when you learn that, it is powerful. You will sail. So in closing, I think, I'm hoping that I did a fairly good presentation here to get your mind thinking that, with a couple skills that you need to learn, and it's really not hard. It's not hard at all, because you have a mouth, you have a nose, you have eyes, you have ears. And all you got to do is use the one, two, at least two of them more effectively, and less of the one, which is your mouth. The less you talk, the more you'll gain. Trust me, you will. So, is there any comments, questions?
Yeah, Chris, this is Craig.
Hey, Craig, how you doing?
Doing good. I thought you said 4 o'clock, and then when I sat on for my lunch at 1 o'clock Pacific time, I thought, oh, is that 4 o'clock Eastern time? And sure enough. Anyway, I like what you had to say. One of the things that I was curious to find out, if basically you're doing a team call here, right?
Yes.
Well, if this marketing thing goes well, we're probably going to be overwhelmed with leads, and we can offer it to people on the team. Because I know I won't.
Go ahead.
And one other thing that I was going to say was that you put 150, you sent out 150 emails, you said, and when I came on, there was like 10 people on. What if we include the webinar or conference calls information in that email? Would you be willing to do that?
Let's talk about it after the call, because it's not only American Liberty's team. It went on in another Skype group, and there's people that, I would love to help Gilhard. Gilhard's the or support team, Gilhard and Pete, and Kai and them. I would love nothing more to help them build, even where I don't benefit, because it's because of them we are benefiting. So let's talk about that after the call.
Okay, thanks, Chris.
Okay, we have another question here. It's from John. He's got his hand raised.
I want to thank Craig for illustrating what a lot of people do, which is very poor form of changing the subject and interjecting things that aren't the topic of discussion. Thank you very much, Craig. One of the things that I find very helpful in dealing with people is not so much just listening. I like to ask them a question to get started. Is there anything that you'd like to ask me, or is there something you want to talk about? Let them get it out of the way right up front. That way they're not itching in their seat to get it out later. and not listening to you. That's all.
Okay, we have some, we're honored to have Gerhard in the house and Vin Lee and Kai, and wow, what a phenomenal bunch of people we have here assembled within such a short notice. Gerhard, would you like to say anything? Gerhard, would you like to say anything? No, he's busy.
Yeah, he's busy.
David Hobbs has his hand up. Go ahead and have David ask your question.
Hello, great call. I'm kind of new to this webinar. This is my first time being on here, and I guess I got to learn more because it's my first time in learning about this information. You know, so great call, and if you could help me, you know, how to get help me to get the people's excited and stuff. That would be a great tip. That'd be a great nugget.
Well, David, you didn't miss any other webinar. Excuse me a minute. You didn't miss any other webinars related to this subject. Okay, this is the first one, so we'll have many more coming down. Even if nobody came, I would have my own webinar because I personally have benefited from this. I just want to say one thing about this. The company, the pool company that I have, when I gave them this book, Skills with People, hold on, I'm sorry, hold on just a second, right back. Okay, when I gave all the employees this book, we used to role play with the employees, the guys who worked out in the field, because the customer would come out and they say, well, what about this and what about that? And start asking questions. And the guys wanted to, you know, to show that they, hey, man, they're the big guy, you know, they're going to answer the question for them. And all I ever wanted the employees to say is call the office. Oh, it looks like rain today. Call the office. You know, hey, can you move your truck? You know, yes, I'll move my truck. But, you know, any questions out of the ordinary, don't answer the questions. And when I gave them this book, it helped them reinforce that, but it also helped the communications between the employees themselves and started working better as a team. And later on, the pool company not only won the best pool company in Brevard County 3 years in a row, but we won the international award on design because they built the design and we photographed it and we won. And so I can't tell you how this information will help you. It may seem to some hokey-dory or, oh, that's child stuff, but are you doing it? You know, are you practicing it? Are you the expert in communication? If so, how come you don't have all the things that you wanted in life? You know, and mostly the people that will be negative had nothing anyhow. I mean, you know, it's the way it is. All successful people, including Donald Trump and the rest of them, watch them. Watch how they work. Donald Trump, you know, the billionaire of this country. He listens to people. When you hear him, he listens and he asks questions. When you read his book, the guy's phenomenal. And that's the people you want to learn from, not from a guy that ain't going anywhere. But thank you, Dave.
Well, thank you. I appreciate everything. Bye.
Well, I know that's right. Gotta listen. Listen.
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions?
Hi, this is Kai. Can you hear me?
Hey,
Hey.
Guy, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Chappy. Hey, can this be kind of like a testimony confessional? I have been very successful in network marketing, built many groups, like at least 4 or 5, maybe even 6 times over 100,000 people. And I am probably the most guilty person of trying to answer everyone's questions and tell the story as opposed to asking questions and listening. I'm a good listener, but I don't open up that space anywhere near enough. And I know this intellectually, what you're sharing is 100% true. And I would be so much farther along. I have good success, but I would be 10 times more successful if I could actually practice what you say. I think I have a deep emotional thing where I want to be service, and therefore I think by answering questions and sharing knowledge that I'm actually doing the right thing, but I'm not by not asking questions. So what you're saying, even for someone who's successful, I could be so much more successful and effective if I practice what I even knew. And I know this intellectually, but then getting it into your habits and actually doing it is so critical. So I just love what you shared, and boy, I need to hear that every day, and actually more than just hear it, I need to actually implement it. So thank you, Chappy.
Well, thank you, Guy. Thank you very much. Okay, anybody else?
That was really good, Chap. Thanks.
Yeah, I think we should all go out and practice what you just gave us and come back in a few days and tell us how it worked for you.
Yeah, let's tentatively now, I'll confirm it. Let's tentatively have this for Friday, say around this time, and we'll see.
Okay.
We got an iPad out there who wants to ask a question.
We got Will's iPad. Let's have. Okay, you're on the air. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead, Will.
Great presentation, Chappy. I really appreciate it. And I was hoping you did give an idea of when you would have this again. And I was hoping that it could go out a little earlier so that I'll be able to plan it and budget it in.
He's kind of. Can you speak into your speaker a little bit more? Kind of cutting out there.
Yeah, because I couldn't hear him.
I'm hoping I'm finding my speaker. Can you hear me now?
Better.
Yeah, better.
I was hoping that we could get an email notification just a little bit earlier as to the day and the time so that I can make sure that I can for the next presentation.
What did you say, Chappy?
He wants to have an email warning a little bit earlier than what we had here today so that we can plan for the proper time.
Yeah, I almost made it for tomorrow, and but I've been, it took me quite a while to work this out, and then it's going to even take me longer to do the next one. So let's tentatively schedule it for 4 o'clock, and I will confirm it by Thursday afternoon. Is that fair enough, Will?
Yes, that would be great. Thank
Okay,
you,
and that's 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time.
Yeah.
Chuck?
Yep.
On Thursday.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, we'll definitely set some times and get a regular schedule here so everybody has plenty of time to jump in on this wonderful information. You shared just a gold mine here with us today. And also, they have the regular 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time company calls. So make sure you get on those webinars too. You can find those links in the Skype rooms. And if you don't know them, we'll get them to you. Just put me a message in the chat room.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, there's a hand up, right, JK?
Yeah, I just wanted to request a little help here. We want to get a little theme song going for Spill Babies. I thought we could use a Beach Baby and kind of adjust the words around a little bit so we could get a theme song going.
Mr. Music, of course. You're on the ball, aren't you? Always a theme song. So that's Lauren's job. She can put a tune together for us.
Yeah, I just, one thing about the when people are expecting spill and they got and they wanting to know either upline or downline complaining about it, first of all, don't complain. You know, if you have a complaint, take it to the garbage pail and dump the trash. Then come back and call your upline and say, you know, I'm a little concerned about, you know, this, and this, and talk to him and talk to him only. There's no need to go around and spilling, you know, all the trash out and how you feel, because nobody really cares, you know, quite honestly. People, you know, the old story is, you know, you cry alone. When you laugh, the world laughs with you. And because people want to be happy, people want to be joyous, and your joy, your smiles can encourage somebody else to do the same because they want that. Nobody wants to be in pain. Nobody wants to be discouraged. That's why we are here with such a great opportunity to help people. And so with that being said, let's go ahead and end the call. Practice what you heard today. And, you know, I will send John and Chappy the first part of what, you know, how to skillfully talk with people. And if anybody wants to get on my list, who is in my team, you're welcome to join, and I'll send the link to that out. And I promise everybody, you don't have to worry about me offering people to get into another program, or I'm going to try to sell them something and not talk to their upline and all this. I can 100% guarantee you I will never, ever steal anybody. And I do want to say something about the integrity here. My integrity won't allow me to do stuff like that to begin with, because I wouldn't want that happening to me. But sometimes some people may not want to do business with me, and they'll circumvent around me, and you know, and get into another program with somebody else in my downline or upline. If I find out the fact that they didn't want to do business with me, I don't get mad. If anything, I say, what did I do wrong? How can, you know, what did I do wrong with you, so I can change that, so I can have a better relationship, maybe not with you, and that's okay. But I don't want that to happen again. So what did I do wrong? And let me tell you something, man, that is a powerful question. That's a powerful position to be in. Because if the people have enough integrity to be honest and just lay it on the line, you know, we're big folks, lay it on the line. And when you find out if you did something wrong, then alter that, change that, and go on. You'll make life a lot happier. Okay? So with that being said, this call, God bless America and the country that you're in, if you're not in America. And let's just say God bless the planet. And this call this call is officially over. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Chappy, for sharing that with us. We all deeply appreciate everything you do.
I appreciate it.
Have a great day, and we'll see you all on this evening's company presentation, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Goodbye.